Good morning. I'd like to call the Door County Board of Supervisors to order on Tuesday, August 23rd at 9 a.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
There you go. You got the right button this time.
Oh, no, I'm hitting the right button. Just wouldn't work.
Okay, we have 20 present, 1 absent.
I guess so.
Presentation of the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
No. Correspondence. The unassigned fund balance. Any questions on the fund balance? Any other correspondence anybody might ever see?
Does that include phone calls, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
All right, and Mr. Miller got the same call, well, got a call from the same individual. I got my call yesterday. What was the fellow's name, Mark?
Kerry Dragset.
Said, I just wanted to let you know how happy I am that the racing is out of the fairgrounds. I've lived here for, I forget how many years, he said. He said, this is the most peaceful summer I ever have had. And he said, I just wanted to let you know that I'm real happy that it wasn't held this year. Just to let you know.
Thank you. Anybody else on public comments? Dave.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank Grant Thomas, Eric Allison, and Bill Schuster and the other volunteers for opening up the cave over the weekend here at the Horseshoe Bay Caves.
I understand they had a good turnout.
I think so.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to express my same sentiment. I did tour the cave as well, and it was very enlightening.
You probably have a problem going in on there, huh?
Somebody had to say it. Yeah, I know.
I was waiting for Cook to say it.
The unfortunate thing is they didn't leave them in there for the next day for me to find them.
I got one on one side and one on the other. I tell you.
Okay, moving right along.
Let's take care of the
Administrator's monthly report.
Nothing significant this month to report, but I just would like the County Board Supervisors to know that we're holding a public informational meeting next Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. It'll be held at the Senior Center, and the purpose for the public meeting is to, we're going to have venture architects up, and they're going to do in essence, almost like a virtual walkthrough the building, and I guess part of the goal for that is to get public input just in terms of the general design. They'll go over some of the finishes they're proposing, you know, how they're going to address some of the sound issues, that type of thing. But one of the things that we're hoping to do is just to kind of share it with the public to get their input. So again, that's next week, Wednesday at 3:30 at the Senior Center. And again, we're going to do a press release for that as well and get that information out. But again, all we're trying to do is to share the project and actually try to get input into the design from the public before, you know, we do some final design work for within the construction plans themselves.
What was the date?
31st. 31st. That'd be the last day of this month.
Megan?
When will that press release be out?
The press release, we actually issued it yesterday, so it should be hitting whoever wants to pick it up starting today.
Minutes of July 26, 2016 regular meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Changes, additions, deletions, comments, grammatical remarks? Other issues with them?
Punctuation. no
Punctuation, notation? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
He's extending the meeting.
Resolution, approval of donation for Dunes Lake Restoration Pilot Removal of Legacy Phosphorus Project. Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me get it up here. Well, I remember what it was. We got a $10,000 anonymous donation for this project. And on LCC, we voted unanimously to accept that.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 2016-53, approval of gift grant and or donation to Door County Public Health Department. Helen?
The Department of Health Services and some of their departments have given a $10,000 grant to the Door County Board of Health for some skin cancer prevention. Evidently, Door County in years like 26 to 2010 had almost 37% per 100,000 of melanoma in the county. So they have decided to work on melanoma. This is about 18% for the other counties in the state, so we're very high. So the Board of Health would like to bring that forward, and the Public Health Department will work on wristbands, several areas, children, outside workers, farmers, highway department, et cetera, and do education and also try to do some wristbands, free samples, et cetera, to get people involved. And so I make a motion that we accept the $10,000.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We have two similar resolutions. We'll do them one at a time. New position request for 2016 Human Services under 2016-54. I know Joe is here. I know Ken can help fill us in. Kathy, do you want to introduce?
This is Resolution 2016-54, new position request for 2016, Human Services new position. This would be for add 4 full-time social workers, children and family, eliminate 3 existing contracted social worker and children and family positions, and 2 unfilled contracted social worker positions. And I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Discussion?
Joe probably explain it better.
Sure. I know Joe and I can take you on this, but maybe the best thing to do is to go to page 8 of your packet, and we can kind of explain what we're trying to accomplish. And I'll just go through each line so it kind of makes sense. I'll walk you through it. So again, as the resolution states, we're looking at converting 3 existing social workers that are currently contracted out. And we're looking at converting those into, I guess, internal positions. If you look at the amount that's included in the 2016 budget, you'll see that figure of $189,320. The cost to change or convert those positions to internal positions, you'll see an impact on our budget of $65,359. Likewise, now if you go to the next line, in the Human Services budgeted, they did have actually $120,000, but we broke them out so it's easier to understand. But you'll see the first $60,000, that was again to budget for additional staff to contract out that service. So you can see that included an impact or a cost of $60,000. But now again, remember we wanted to convert to 3 plus add 1. So the cost of adding 1 additional person now on top of that is the $84,893. So again, now you have another impact of about $24,893 in terms of the fiscal impact for 2017. But now again, we also had the other $60,000 budgeted in the budget for the contracted position. Again, we're looking at, in essence, eliminating and using those dollars to offset the dollars that we're using for the internal staff positions. So you'll see that come across as a negative $60,000. So then you'll see the net impact on the budget is $30,000 $252. It is projected by Joe, just looking at the rates of the billing hours and how they perform and how they monitor their workflow. They believe that they'll be able to generate, and this is what he felt was somewhat conservative, $30,000 of additional revenue. So in essence, the net impact, just using that number, is $252 on the department itself. And again, I think the main reason for the proposal, as you can see, is one is there's a minimal impact. The second one is we've had the contracted workers in this area for a long time, so they're starting to blend in terms of how they're working with the department and with the other staff. And again, too, I think, excuse me, that in discussions with Joe, and Joe can fill us in on this part, that overall we feel that the operational efficiencies of the staff in-house will actually be better and will be actually to attain more revenue. So that's, I guess, the quick summary of it. The reason why we're looking at, again, you'll see the impact for the 2017 budget proposed, so that way you can see that obviously the request now is to have this become effective October 1st is what the goal would be. So that's why it's before you today. So we'd actually try to get the positions in-house with the new position by October 1st. There'd be an impact obviously this year, but since there's the contracted dollars, there's no issues with that moving forward for this year. But we do want to show you what the impact is for 2017 going forward. So that way you understand the decision today is to actually allow them to be added into the budget process now for 2016, starting October 1st, and then again, you'll see the impact then moving forward for 2017 in the packet. I don't know if Joey, if you want to add anything else in terms of efficiencies or operations, or?
I think you covered it well. I'm not sure that I have anything else to add. I believe that we lose some of the integrity of the program when we have half of our staff internal and half contracted. But I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have.
Any questions? Linda?
I assume the impact includes benefits as well, salary and benefits?
Correct. So what the numbers include, and finance actually does that, this includes all their salary and all their benefits related to the position, and that's why you'll see some of the numbers, for example, are higher in terms of the contracted versus internal.
And then the 30,000 of expected revenue, what kinds of revenue are we talking about? Are these billed back to other departments or individuals?
I'll let Joe answer that one.
Revenue?
Sure.
That 30,000 is about the average that those workers are making, whether they're internal or contracted. And that 30,000 is billed out to both insurance companies and to medical assistants for the services that we provide.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. We will go to our voter board since this is impacting our budget.
Oh, you gotta, hit whatever.
It-
Yes, there you go.
It's not working very well.
That has passed 20 years.
You do the voting, I'll do the confirming.
Next item, Resolution 2016-55, new position request, Human Services. Kathy, you want to start us off again?
This is Resolution 2016-55, new position request for 2016, Human Services. The new position would be one full-time Wisconsin home energy specialist and one elimination of administrative assistant 3. Now make a motion to adopt.
Second.
I'll just walk you through, again, this the fiscal part of it, and then Joe can fill us in on the actual program operations. But again, if you go to page 10 of your packet, right now, this is a subcontracted service. Again, we're looking at bringing this in-house into the department itself. So the budgeted amount that we actually contracted out was $50,539. The cost to bring this position into the department itself is $73,241, giving you a net impact of that $22,702. To actually make this work, in discussions with Joe, they feel that they could have this position not only serve those energy assistance needs as far as the individuals applying for that, but also be able to consolidate some additional work, and thus the recommendation to eliminate the administrative assistant 3 position. And you can see the related cost for that position, thus showing it as a positive or negative in terms of the revenue savings. So by moving forward, there's actually a net gain of approximately $44,650. Again, with this position-wise before you today, is that for this program, as you can imagine, they provide energy assistance. And again, once we start getting the cold weather, they'll actually start working on those needs. So it's pretty critical that we get this position, I guess, up and running by October 1st. Again, I believe the existing contract expires at the end of September. So we're trying to make sure we make a smooth transition for the services, so that's why it's before you today. And again, in terms of the impact this year, Joe has sufficient funds to at least carry it or get it started for this year, and then obviously you see the positive impact in terms of moving forward. In fact, there'll be both of these to be concurrent in terms of being effective October 1st, so there'd be funds for this year as well as the funds for next year. I don't know if Joe's going to add on as far as the services of the program, but
No, you covered it. It's a contract that goes through the end of September, begins October 1st, which is the new heating season. And this program helps individuals obtain fuel for their heating costs throughout the winter. So it gets very busy in October, it's busy through March. And then that's how we'll balance out the work in terms of the additional work through the rest of the year.
Any questions? John?
Do you anticipate maybe that next year you'll want the administrative assistant position back?
I don't believe so.
Linda?
In the previous resolution, adding 1 social worker, the impact was 85,000, I'll just round it up. Adding 1 home energy specialist in this resolution is 73,000. Why the big, is that dependent upon the certifications of the individuals you plan hiring? I mean, that's more than $10,000 difference, so just wondering there.
Yes, the difference is the required education and licensure. So social workers are required to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree. This position does not.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Now we'll go to our voter board. There we go. And that's passed. 0. There are no new ordinances, special reports, new business, any oral committee reports? Anybody review any committee minutes? Review of vouchers, claims, and bills? Announcements. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for September 20th at 9 a.m. And the WCA annual conference again is September 25th through the 27th. If you haven't talked to Jill yet about his wonderful purple shirts, please contact her. Biz?
Yeah, not really an announcement, but I would hope that the property committee goes to the senior center on the 31st at 3:30 for the update from Venture Architects. And it would probably be necessary that it be posted because there may be a quorum there. If you would, please.
yes, we can do that.
Anybody else? Mr. Fisher?
Mr. Chairman, after such a grueling meeting, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody.